Hello, my name is Megan O'Russell.
And my name is Christopher Russell, and welcome back to Page by Page, writing the book in real time. We are reaching about a third of the way through the book.
Yes.
Yeah, and we are 1 week post foot surgery. How you feeling with your space age technology over there?
Yeah, I have so after surgery, they gave me this weird, it's like a loop thing that I'm supposed to keep on my foot 10 hours a day, and it sends little it pulses through my foot, and it's going to help the bone regrow faster. Mm-hmm. Which is some weird ass Star Trek shit, but I trust the doctor, and if he says put that on your foot, I'm gonna do it. But I just had to get one screw in my foot, so not that bad. Apparently, I only have like a little tiny centimeter incision, so all teeny tiny, all looking good. It's bothersome.
Yep, and you'll have your post-op next Thursday. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then immediately following, we apparently go to Halloween Horror Nights. We'll see how you're doing. We'll see. Yeah. Yay, you've had post-op. Let's go get scared.
Yay, you've had post-op. Let's go get a drink.
You know what's funny? You were talking about Star Trek
it's Halloween Horror Nights. I'm having a drink.
Well, of course you are. They've got some really good stuff.
So I feel like a post-op
They also
drink.
have a foot-long fried mozzarella stick, too.
Oh my God, can we Lady in the Tramp it?
Oh my God, yes, absolutely we can.
Okay, but you might have to take 8 inches and I'll take 4.
It is young, oh my God. I just heard what you said. Oh. Okay.
I have to limit my fried food consumption because I have a shady ass gallbladder.
That's it. Well, yes. So I'm really glad that this podcast is marked as explicit.
Oh no.
That's it. This coming from.
Okay, so Chris had started keeping like a little rag on the table for I inevitably spill my drink. So this is this is a rag. I'm not like wiping my face on something dirty, even though it does look like a weird cloth. It's because it's for beer spillage. And we use reusable rags in this house because we try to save. Well, unless it's like, okay, we're not always perfectly eco-friendly, but we try, and we have reusable rags, and that's what I use for beer, and that's what I wipe my face with.
Yes,
because that is not what I meant. But anyway, so shall we jump in?
I think we shall. And before we jump in, I would like to introduce the beer of the week. I don't think we've done this one this season. We did an iteration of it, but this is the original.
My iteration of it.
I don't know what that means, but thank you
means.
so much, I think. So this is the Southern Tier Brewing Company Pumpkin, which I love so much. It's an imperial ale. Cheers.
You should put this in tiny pumpkins.
We did that one year. Mm-hmm. Like we actually followed up. If you were here with us last week, you'll remember Megan brought up the tiny pumpkins that we got when we were working in Rock Island, Illinois, back in 2019.
Yeah, but one year we actually did it at home. Like we actually did
pumpkins.
It at home. Yeah.
It was during the pandemic.
Yeah, and to celebrate, we scooped them out, and then we had our little beers and watched some Halloween movies.
Yeah. I remember we had to come up with some very interesting traditions during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Glad that's gone. Okay, so, yes, we've cheersed. Do you want to give us a last time on?
Yes.
Okay. I think you should do it. Give it to us. Give us the last time on.
Previously on.
That one.
Wait.
What?
It's in.
What?
Previously on.
No, on. Previously on. Yeah.
Is that how I always do it and I've just forgotten?
I hope so.
All right, ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Previously on Diary of a Blood-Marked Werewolf. A lot of shit happens that goes all the way back to chapter 1 of book 1.
I know, just stop right there. A lot of shit happens. The end.
The story of Ella Day. A lot of shit happens.
And then it gets worse. Sorry, continue.
That's basically every book I write. And it gets worse.
Well, it has to. Otherwise, there's no moving forward, right? It has to get worse and worse and worse. And then hopefully, eventually, it gets better. Usually it does.
Not always.
Okay,
so the things that you need to know about where we are in this moment. Right now we are in the vault at the high school. So it is Ella, Caleb, and Violet in the hidden aitherion clubhouse / safe room in the high school. And they have been gathered there by Ella because she wants to finally get to talk to her two aitherion allies about her theories about what's been going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I feel like that's the best truncated version I can give.
Yeah, I'm thinking through it too, and I'm like, there are other things that we can give, but they're going to reveal themselves throughout the chapter, so I don't think that we have to do that.
You think we're good? We're good?
I think we're good.
That was a stressful one, because this is a...
Yeah. I don't want to say too much. We'll discuss later. We'll talk about it after, but you'll understand why we're like... I
have coffee and pumpkin beer in front of me right now, and it's a weirdly okay combo.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it. Pumpkin spice lattes, right? What you're having is a macchiato. What? You want me to bring you home a pumpkin spice?
Pumpkin pie.
Okay. Well, we can make that happen. There are supermarkets near us.
There are.
Yeah, so we can make this happen. Would you like me to grab one on the way home? Because I have a shift at Halloween Horror Nights, at a horror makeup show after this, so I could grab one. Would you like me to grab one? Okay, I'll grab one. Okay, so I'm going to now cut away so I can move the mic, and then we'll be right back.
Wait, real quick. What? I just want to tell everybody he's the love of my life, not just because he delivers me pie and helps me shower when my foot's broken. He has other good qualities as well, but look at me, I'm getting pie.
Okay. So grab your pumpkin beers and perk up your ears for this week's chapter. What?
I retract my previous comments.
Whatever. You never had it so good. Sorry, that was from Princess Bride. If you don't know it, how dare you get on that now? It is one of the greatest movies of all time, if not the greatest movie of all time. I proudly present to you Diary of a Bloodmarked Werewolf by Megan O. Russell, Chapter 12. Motive. K1. My hand had wanted to write Osten as the first heading, but even though Osten was just the snarky name I'd given him, humanizing the dead witch in any way leaned too close to danger. K1. Race, witch. Coven, unknown. Link to Clara, none. I bit my lips together, leaning back in my seat, giving Violet and Caleb a view of the horizontally turned notebook that served as our sad, evil asshole breakdown chart, since the vault, surprisingly, didn't have a whiteboard, chalkboard, or corkboard. A heartbeat passed. Another 10. You already told me a hunter killed Clara. The murdery rumble in Violet's voice raised goosebumps on the back of my neck, but lacked the shocked edge I'd been expecting. I know the witch from the warehouse wasn't Clara's killer. Not just not her killer, I said. Didn't seem to know much about Clara's murder and was pissed about the way her remains had been treated. Violet froze. I could read the cognitive dissonance shattering her brain as the instinct to say something positive about K1 being appalled by Clara's treatment battled the fact that K1 had, kidnapped me. I spared her having a spectator through that moral minefield and added to the K1 list with Caleb now helpfully reading over my shoulder. Goal, test worth of investment. Motive, profit. Notes, did not do actual snatching. Knew about ritual in cabin. That's not possible. Caleb's voice held more danger than murder. It was only the three of us and I clearly trust both of you not to be working with evil kidnappers, or I wouldn't be talking to you right now. I nipped that fucker in the bud. Well, tried. Then how did that witch know? Caleb wasn't touching me, but it didn't fucking matter. I could feel his marble-like tension radiating into my own spine, setting off my coward-ass need to fucking flee. But I'd already waited too long to talk to them. Don't be a fuck, Ella. I'm not sure how K1 knew, but he definitely did. 11 letters, Ella. I finished K1's list. Knew about me. No reaction from the crowd. I moved to the center of the paper, making a new column. K2. Race, unknown. Affiliation, unknown. Link to Clara, unknown. Goal, unknown. Motive, profit. Notes. Did actual Sybil snatching. Second in line for Sybil? Or Sybil dealer? Sybil dealer? I didn't pause to answer Caleb's question before moving on to make my third column. M1. I don't know why I didn't just write murderer.
Kidnapper 1 sounded closer to a living being than K1. K1 made sense. M1, a soulless designation, just felt right for the faceless fuck from my vision. M1, race, human, affiliation, hunter, link to Clara, murderer, goal, trophy, motive, unknown. We know what Clara's killer wanted. The deepening rumble in Violet's voice so helpfully doubled my instinct to bolt. Her fucking fangs as a trophy. We know they're a sick fuck who took her fangs as a trophy like a fucking serial killer, I said, but not why they did it. Because they're a twisted, murdering fuck! The black paneled walls absorbed her shout. Careful, Ella. You have fragile little Sybil bones, Ella. But why Clara's fangs? I held my breath for 10 seconds, prepared for either pain or shouting. Neither came. Clara wasn't an easy target. Coming into Blackwood territory, attacking an Aetherion in an Aetherion stronghold, it doesn't make sense. If some twisted human fuck wanted a werewolf trophy, there are at least 4 other places in New York State where they'd have a bigger pick of werewolf victims without the risk of crossing into a heavily Aetherion area.
That was great, Mark.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go back now. If some twisted human fuck wanted a werewolf trophy, there are at least 4 other places in New York State where they'd have a bigger pick of werewolf victims without the risk of crossing into a heavily Aetherion area or the complication of a witch's protection. Maybe the fuck knew Kate wouldn't do shit about Clara disappearing, Violet said. Meaning M1 is familiar with Laureldale and Kate, I said, emphasizing the importance of why Clara. Clara had... Caleb stopped short. I turned in time to watch his gaze flick to Violet, hopefully judging the danger of her potential oncoming wrath. She was a known runaway, living away from her pack, without... She had us! Violet bared her fucking teeth. My pack, my family. She wasn't alone. Which is where Clara's killer fucked up. I managed not to flinch as Violet pivoted her glare to me. Clara was supposed to be forgotten. Her body never found, her death never investigated. The sick fuck didn't realize you wouldn't give up on her. Their mistake, our advantage, okay? I waited for death, grateful it would probably be quick. Death didn't come. Violet's eyes didn't lose the murder gleam either, but she nodded and closed her lips, so I dared to finish the M1 column. Notes. Knew about Clara. Disposed of... Of what? Disposed of inventory? Disposed of potential income? I finished the list. Disposed of high-value asset. Then wrote difference equals profit between the K2 and M1 column, circled that shit 3 times, leaned back in my seat, and waited for chaos to commence. Profit? Violet said the word with all the revulsion it contextually deserved. Fuck, don't say Austin, you fuck. K1 talked about wanting to make sure I was worth the investment. I think he only had a few more hours to decide if he wanted to keep me. If I couldn't prove myself worth the expense, I'd be passed to the next in line. Violet swung for the wall, plowing her fist through the black foam to dent the wall beyond before I could shout for her to stop. Caleb grabbed Violet, pinning her arms to her sides. You're fucking dead! Violet kicked back, catching Caleb in the shin hard enough to snap human bone, but he didn't let go. You have to be quiet or they'll find this room. Caleb squeezed harder, adding an undertone of pain to Violet's rolling growl. Quiet and I'll let you go. You know I'm right. She went still and quiet. I pressed on. Since stalking and snatching me required resources, there's no way I was being handed to anybody without payment of some kind, I said. They wanted to sell you? Violet huffed like a barely restrained beast. Caleb went full statue impersonator. Good job, Ella. You should be just as appalled as they are, you jaded fuck. Fuck. That's not the point. Really, Ella? Let's completely dehumanize me. I stood, placing myself closer to eye level with them. An item of value, S1, I pointed to myself, was taken by K1 and K2 with the intent to profit from said item. Violet bared her fucking teeth. You have a fucking death wish, Ella. Now do the same with Clara. Neither wolf nor fey went for my jugular. Clara, W1, was stolen and tossed aside, wasting a large amount of potential profit. They stole her fangs! Violet's teeth stayed locked as she spoke. While she was alive. I said like a fucking asshat. Caleb and Violet not having processed that detail of Clara's horror hadn't occurred to me, but they hadn't been in Clara's body during her final moments. They didn't know she'd died tasting blood. Fangs don't make the wolf, I pressed on, ignoring the mix of loathing and horror-fueled nausea on their faces. The world is a fucked up place, and a young werewolf would be worth good money to the sick fucks who like cage matches or forcing guards into service. Why profit from S1 but not W1? Why profit from me but not Clara? The sick fuck learned between taking Clara and taking you. The muscles in the sides of Violet's neck stuck out in tense cords. I fucking knew she was tipping toward disaster, but I couldn't take the time to be gentle. I was too close to reaching the part I wasn't going to be able to rally the fucking will to take on again. Sure, an evil learning curve is possible. I aimed for a soothing tone. Maybe M1 realized the potential value wasted by killing Clara, decided selling aitherions was a better gig, and evolved into K2. But Clara was killed for a fucked up hunter's trophy. I was taken for long-term use. M1 took a risk, fighting Clara to catch her. K2 pulled a clean snatch. One's violent, one's calculated. It's just too fucking different. Use as what? The cold, calm command in Caleb's voice oozed ice down my spine. Long-term use as what? Sometimes I forget how inhuman Fae are, even a half-Fae like Caleb. I don't mean the strength or the way Caleb's eyes glint in the dark like an animal's. Fae have magic deep in their beings, and that resonant, demanding, soul-bending power leaves little doubt where old stories of Fae-twisting innocence wills were born. But with Caleb's human blood and lack of cruelty and practice, and my Sibylness, his command didn't manage to seep into my mind, lining every thought with a nerve-grating need, like a stinging itch I knew would ease if only I obeyed. For me, the command swept past with an aggressive, zinging tingle in the center of my bones, but no desperate need to answer the terrified Fae's question. Speak, Ella. It's an easy answer, Ella. But even if Caleb's Faeness had worked on me, I wouldn't have been able to speak, because I'm a fuck. A selfish fuck who drags her friends into things they should never come near, fucking up their lives, fucking up their souls, leaving permanent damage on those lucky enough to survive the disaster of me. As what? Caleb's command zinged through my bones again. I made myself hold his gaze. The fear in Caleb's eyes, that was my fault. The anger rooted in that fear was my work as well. The numb mask covering the worst of his pain, all me. Great job, Ella. Don't think, just act. A living map to a dead guy's treasure vault filled with all kinds of supernatural goodies. Unfortunately, K1 didn't realize that's the kind of shit that gets Sibyls killed or worse. A fresh round of horror filled Caleb's and Violet's stares. I couldn't take it, so I, like a fucking coward, locked my attention on the evil asshole breakdown chart. Which actually works well for us. K1, Osten, stupid dead Osten, knew about me, a Fae, and a werewolf doing a ritual in a cabin, but not that we'd found the cliff because it was where I'd seen Clara murdered. He thought I'd somehow tracked her body itself. How does that shit trying to hurt you help us? Caleb said. By confirming K1's info didn't come from any of us. So fuck trusting. I held up a hand, cutting Violet off. A powerful, well-trained witch with no morals could, theoretically, drag information out of an unwilling person and, if they didn't mind risking permanent damage to the subject's brain, remove the memory of the whole thing. Iron-heavy silence pressed against me. They don't belong in this world. Just rip off the fucking Band-Aid, Ella. So yes, even though I trust you both completely, K1 not understanding how we found Clara definitely matters because it means no one fucked with your heads. Don't think, just act. Which makes room for the bigger how the fuck did K1 find out problem. Well, problem if we're willing to believe I'm not paranoid and K1 did know what I think he knew. Neither Caleb nor Violet helpfully said, "What do you mean, Ella? What did he know, Ella?" Or even, "Please continue, Ella," leaving me fumbling for my next sentence. K1 never outright said it. I perched on the edge of the table because that means casual, aka not freaking the fuck out internally. But from the way he talked about me, fuck, just fucking say it, you fuck. K1 knew I'm not genetically Gale Pack. Fuck, meaning K1 knew my dad wasn't genetically my father. Cue the wide-eyed shock from the crowd. Which I've known for as long as I can remember. My words tumbled out too fast, bordering on unintelligible. Dad knew, Gran knew, Uncle Donovan knows, Uncle Declan has a claw up his ass about it. A few of my parents' really close friends know too, but telling the two of you nudges the grand total of living people in the Ellis genetics knowledge bubble back up toward 10. So how the fuck did K1 find out? And why the fuck would someone organized enough to figure out my fucking paternity work with a barbarian stupid enough to dump a body in the open? I know it's not proof, but between the scary deep knowledge of me and totally different basic intentions, my brain swears M1 and K2 can't be the same person, which leaves Laureldale with one brutal, disorganized murderer and one profit-motivated, hyper-organized kidnapper. Oh, God. I made it through. That was a marathon.
That was amazing.
Thanks, man. I almost stopped.
You gotta clip that out for a little TikTok clip. You gotta put just that bit on social media.
I can't put that on social media. That is a huge lore drop. That's a huge spoiler. I can't do that.
Well, damn, because it was really good.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Hop back like a sentence and then jump back into the story.
Okay, great.
Oh, that was so good. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I would like to thank the Academy from the Tethering series. Okay. I know it's not proof, but between the scary deep knowledge of me and totally different basic intentions, my brain swears M1 and K2 can't be the same person, which leaves Laureldale with one brutal, disorganized murderer and one profit-motivated, hyper-organized kidnapper. My voice sounded weirdly professional through the roaring of my heart pounding in my ears. Assuming Kate, Sheriff Fuckhole's office, and whatever other law enforcement is supposed to be taking care of this bullshit continue to prove unforgivably useless, I think they would want this, Ella, if you gave them a choice. I think finding Clara's killer and my super stalky kidnapper might fall on us. With a potential touch of urgency, since K2 could very well still be in town, and if they were stalking me with K1, K2 spent time watching both of you, meaning the fuck who likes to steal aitherions already knows either of you could fetch a tidy profit in the right corner of hell. And the monstrous reality of it all crumbled in. Fuck. Violet's whole body trembled, like it was taking every ounce of control she had left not to tear through the walls. To fucking run. The smarter choice. The safer choice. I wouldn't have blamed her, but she stayed. And Caleb, he looked me right in the eyes without any anger or loathing for dragging such a sweet, wonderful boy into the kind of dark bullshit he shouldn't even have nightmares about. He actually looked better, almost, not on edge, not laying pitch black numbness over guilt he didn't deserve. Like the knowledge that claws could lash out at our throats at any moment made the remembered feel of blood on his hands more bearable, more worth it. My parents are right to keep me trapped at the crossing. Violet dug her fists into her thighs, leaving epic bruises, I'm sure. Fuck! I'm so sorry. Do better, Ella. If I'd known, don't fucking apologize, Violet said. I'm sorry, shit. Caleb reached out and took my hand, not lacing his fingers through mine, more comforting than intimate, but Caleb Clark willingly touched the girl who'd so epically fucked over his life. A brutal lightness swept through my chest, pummeling my lungs so hard my knees threatened to collapse. I dug my nails into the bandaged slice in my palm, anchoring myself, ready to fight off a vision. But it wasn't a vision, just pure, selfish relief that made the walls wobble as Caleb asked, "Where do we start? You won't deserve forgiveness, Ella." "Which of you is more comfortable with vampires?" I don't know. At that point, it just feels like, as a moment of levity, we should have that piece. You know what I mean?
The chicken piece?
Yeah, I don't. Is that a chicken piece?
I don't know. Don't they always?
Are you talking about the
No. I don't know. I don't
I'm
know.
thinking of Family Guy where Stewie is running, having one of my sexy parties. You know that.
No, it just always feels like there's a rubber chicken.
There could be a rubber chicken. Don't they use that also in V for Vendetta? Or no, it's like a moment very much like that. Anyway. Okay, so that is the end of the chapter.
It's a short chapter.
It is, yeah, okay. So, to that point, we talked about, I asked Megan, because she told me the chapter this week is 2,700 words, and that was before she edited it down to closer to 2,500. And I was like, oh, are you adding more? And she's like, I don't think so. And I kind of looked at her because as yes, I am her preliminary editor, and yes, I am the producer, so I have to kind of think about these things, and chapter length is one of the factors in the podcast, obviously. So I kind of was thinking, and she went, I think enough happens. And then I read it and I went, oh.
Yeah, I was like, I think enough happens in this one to carry the podcast episode. Because that's always my thing. And why, like, sometimes they get way longer is it's because, okay, to get to the next thing that makes it like, okay, it is worth me through the podcast demanding this hour, a little bit plus of your time. Like, I want to make sure that you're getting enough narrative.
Yeah.
That tuning in and like taking the time in your schedule to be like, this is page by page time.
Right.
Like, I want to make sure that I'm giving you enough value to make it worth it. So sometimes my chapters, instead of being like the normal 2,500 to 3,500 you're going to find in most of my books, will end up being like 4,000 or 4,500 because there's like some exposition. There's some scene that needed to happen before we got to the next like twist up.
Right.
Before we got to the next stopping point. And I can't, like I would in a normal book, just like stop halfway through. Okay, if they want to put down the book for the night, this is their choice, but then they have the next bit.
Yeah.
Like I can't do that with the podcast format.
So it's interesting to hear that you also have your own like mental gymnastics you're going through as you're putting this together.
Very much so. Yeah. And that's why it's like, okay, sometimes I have to reconfigure like exactly when I want the Watcher to appear.
Sure.
Because it's like, I could have had the Watcher go with this chapter, but I'm like, no, this one is good enough. I can put the next Watcher chapter after something that's a little bit slower, a little bit more relationship building, something like that, you know, doesn't have like these exciting bullet points exploding everywhere.
Yeah.
So that I have this like, ooh moment at the end. But I don't think I needed one for this one. So I didn't put one here because I don't think so. This episode needed it. And the next Watcher moment doesn't have to be right here.
No.
So I could save that for the next time I'm like, okay, I need like a big wrap.
Speaking of a big wrap, this, tell me if I'm wrong, but this feels like your Act 1 climax. This is just such a big lore dropper. Do you have something else planned? Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow.
This isn't actually the Act 1 lore drop.
What? But this is huge. This is something you've been sitting on for a while.
Here's the thing.
Okay, which we'll get to.
You were saying that this is the end of the first third, and it's not.
Okay, that's fine. No, I don't want it to be the end of the first third.
Yeah, I just didn't want to say before the chapter.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to be like, no, and have people like, oh, then what's bigger the whole time they were listening to the chapter.
Sure.
I didn't want to like color it that way, but no, this is not, in fact, the oh no moment.
Where the Kool-Aid man breaks through the wall. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So getting into the notes, unless there was something else you wanted to say.
No.
Okay.
No.
Not yet. No. Yeah. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Chit. If you don't know who Chit is, let me know in the comments because I will direct you there. I am happy to spread the good word of Chit.
And then maybe he can talk to you about him instead of me.
He's awesome. Okay. The actor's name is Jay Renshaw. It is a great little social media sketch comedy. It's so fun.
Thing for that kind of humor, which is great. Just not my preferred brand.
It's so silly to me because it is so silly. All right. So first and foremost, I want to thank you so much for presenting me with yet another formatting challenge.
You're welcome. I like to keep you sharp.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay. Okay, so this isn't like a huge thing, but I thought it was very interesting that, so we get to, is this still on page 1? No, page 2. I'm not sure how K1 knew, but he definitely did, and that's knowing about the ritual in the cabin. And then right after that, she's thinking to herself, 11 letters, Ella, and the 11 letters are knew about me. So it struck me later that knew about me, that is actually preceding what happens 6 pages later. Because she's not, and I didn't realize until the read aloud, no reaction from the crowd. She was expecting it to be as mind-blowing to them just with those 11 letters as it was to her. And it was so layered that I missed it until the third read through. This is why, okay, so those of you who have been with us since the beginning and I don't mean the beginning of Megan's podcast with A Book and a Dream, but with Page by Page, if you have listened to all of Sketchbook, and even if you read the chapter right afterwards, if you haven't read it straight through, I implore you. Now, granted, maybe you weren't a part of the Kickstarter, which makes sense why you wouldn't be able to read through it because we haven't released even the ebook to the non-Kickstarter backers. Although we did finally get the last piece of art. It finally came. And I don't want you guys thinking like, wow, they took their time. No, like we were talking with our artist. I don't know if it was a language barrier, but the art that was being sent back, we were just like, no. There was a lot of back and forth. Finally, we have got the second piece of art, which means that the book is going to be going to the printers this week, and I'm so excited. So look forward to that. I am so stoked. I hope that you are too.
The Kickstarter backer thing will go out before the episode, so don't worry. The Kickstarter people will know in the backer update that we have the final art before the podcast goes out, but times... fuckery.
Yeah, time is well, especially when you have a broken foot, and we were not planning on dealing with that.
Hey, showered
You're the
today.
most eloquent. I'm so proud of you. Well done. Hey, cheers to showering.
I smell really good right now.
You do. So anyway,
I did not smell bad earlier.
Well, so
I showered before I smelled bad.
That is true.
I had just lost the smell good.
You didn't smell like a fresh bouquet of roses. You smelled a little bit like the baby's breath. What? You don't like baby's breath?
In my head yesterday, I can't remember why someone pissed me off. But in my head, the insult I came up with was "you fucking dill pickle." And I don't know if it was aphasia or some deep-rooted current loathing of dill pickles, but that was the insult in my mind was "you fucking dill pickle."
Can I tell you, I really want a dill pickle now.
That's weird. So you want to bite them? So they're zombie meat. You fucking dill pickle means you are salty zombie meat.
Sure, honey. You know.
I don't know, but it felt so right in my heart, and it still feels right that it's gotta mean. Okay, so if you have any idea what "you fucking dill pickle" as an insult could in depth mean, please let me know, because my heart says it's right, and I don't know if it's aphasia.
Maybe you were censoring yourself, because when you started with dill, that is not what I thought you were going to end it with. So I don't know. I mean, if you think back to the very first, I'm talking the pilot episode of South Park, what Cartman is calling the cat all the time. Huh?
Oh!
Megan Elizabeth.
A frozen blue jellyfish. Okay. If you have not seen that video, look up frozen blue jellyfish.
I think it was wasn't it just a hard blue jellyfish?
A hard blue jellyfish.
Hard blue jellyfish. Yeah, a kid found a hard blue jellyfish, quote unquote, on a beach.
Yeah.
And his parents filmed it. It was great. Anyway, so going back to what I was talking about, the first book. If you have the ability to read it straight through and you have not done so yet, do it. I did, and even I have more intimate knowledge of this book than probably any of the rest of you, other than Megan, obviously. Some of our listeners are also a bit more intelligent than I am, but I was blown away by some of the stuff that was going on in the book, even though I knew what was coming. It was the way that you layered in the Easter eggs, and it was just so magical. So highly recommend rereading it. Okay, so we talked about the 11 letters.
The final, boss fight of this series is already in the book.
Are you serious? Yes. It's got to have something to do with KAT, I'm assuming. Some kind of KAT related something. Okay. I'm excited to see more about that, by the way.
It's already there.
Oh, my God. Okay, so... why don't you take us down the road that was goal versus motive? Tell us about your journey through this process, Megan Elizabeth.
Well, because
this confused the shit out of me, by the way.
So your motive is your deep down driving desire. What is it that you really want out of this situation?
Right.
And then your goal is your aim in this moment. Like, what is the thing that you're currently doing that serves that larger motivation? So sorting out, like, okay, so K1, their ultimate motive was profit. They wanted to make dollars.
Right.
Their current goal was assessing if Ella was a way to make dollars.
Gotcha. Okay.
So then we know, well, Ella is very determinedly believing that K2 has the same ultimate goal of, or the same ultimate motive of profit. But what their current goal in all this is, well, were they a partner to K1 that she just didn't meet? Were they the broker who offered her to K1?
Okay.
Were they assisting K1 and were going to be the next in line if K1 didn't want to keep her?
Because K1 is Osten, right?
So like, what the fuck were they doing? Like, what was their short-term benefit here?
Right.
So that was like the hard thing to sort out, is like which went where for each of them, but not just which went where for each of them, which went where for each of these hypothetical people, these criminal avatars that Ella has created in her mind that are these shadow monsters that she has to face.
Right.
So creating those charts for her three people versus the reality charts of Authorland might be why my brain thought dill pickle was a good insult.
Yeah, you don't know.
Or maybe it was just that, like, I don't know, I had surgery and my brain's like, meh.
What is your brain like?
Meh.
Wait, that's okay. So this next comment is, this next comment is neither here nor there. It just, for whatever reason, her saying when she's like, when Violet's like, they wanted to sell you, and she's like, that's not the point. It put me into the same feeling. Not exactly, because there's a reason she's saying that, and I get it. But it just immediately made me think of The Room, where the mom, if you haven't seen The Room with Tommy Wiseau, don't. No, I'm kidding. Get with a group of friends that you really need to get back at for something, and sit them all down and say, we're going to watch this movie together. And if you really want to torture them, don't give them any kind of alcohol throughout it. It is a really bad movie.
It is a work of art.
It is objectively considered the worst movie of all time. And there's even a movie about the movie called The Disaster Artist with, is it James Franco?
I don't know.
Anyway.
But it's
so bad.
So bad, it becomes a study in badness.
Oh, it's so bad.
So then it kind of loops back to good, but not in the way of like,
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is Surf Ninjas, because that's like, but that's
or
also
Xenon,
bad.
Girl of the 21st Century.
How dare you?
It wasn't a good movie.
I'm
but
kidding.
her
I never
not
saw
knowing
it.
that a stationary bike is different than a moving bike was so bad it looped back to good.
Oh.
And then they tried to say Katy Perry was the first pop star in space, and every millennial knows that's wrong.
It was Xenon?
No, it wasn't Xenon.
Hey, who was it?
It was the guy. Xenon is the girl, and then it was that rock star.
Yeah, but okay.
And then she says Zetus Cepetus all the time. I don't know why I know all this, but I do. I'm going to like have Alzheimer's.
You're a very strange
And they're going to be giving me Jello, and I'm just going to be like, Zetus Cepetus. There are no cats in America, and the streets are paved with cheese.
Oh, man.
So put your hands up. They're playing my song. The butterflies flying away. Like, this is going to be my life in the nursing home.
You sound like my brain right now. This is terrifying.
You're a dill pickle.
Okay. So getting back to The Room, I can't believe that I'm getting back to The Room, but getting back to The Room, that's not the point. Made me think of, there's a moment, and don't worry, I'm not spoiling shit for you. There is no spoiling this movie.
There's no plot.
There's no plot. It's so bad. But at one point, the main female character's mother just walks in and says to her daughter, goes, the results are back. I definitely have breast cancer. And the daughter says, I don't want to talk about that right now.
And then they just veer off
and it never comes up again. It never comes up again.
That's the only time cancer.
It's so bad. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, hi, Mark. God. Okay. Anyway, this was kind of a fun thing. Megan was like, should we say dehumanize because they're not human? And I was like, huh.
Because is that confusing?
It's like, yeah, but it's so I think one of the reasons I highlighted this is because it goes back to, and so you got some pushback on this too from, I think, some readers of, what is more important to save? And this is in Girl of Glass, mankind or humanity. And somebody went, it's the same thing. And I was like, I disagree. Like, you could categorize mankind as humanity. You could make those synonymous, but humanity can also mean the act of being humane, like how you were treating others. And so that is where I feel like this is, that's why I'm fine with you using dehumanize. This is one of those weird writer-editor moments. I don't know.
Well, because it's like human, so fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, because the other one would be personate, and it's like no one says personate.
No, and depersonate's not a word. So
yeah, but Ella uses a lot of not words.
She does use a lot of not
whatever.
Words. She does, but when we have a word that means the thing that you're looking for, we're just going to use that.
Unless it doesn't sound cool.
So let's talk about this huge bombshell that you just dropped, that you have been holding on to for a book and not a third now. K1 knew I'm not genetically Gale Pack, meaning K1 knew my dad wasn't genetically my father. So that's a lot right there. That the Gale Pack, do we know that was her dad all along? That her dad was Gale, her mom was not? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, I thought so. So that's not the bombshell. The bombshell is that her dad is not her dad. So do you want to talk more about that? Do you want to draw this into Lori's story at all? Words for fun?
We haven't gotten to this point in Lori's story yet.
I know we haven't, but is that a point that we're going to get to?
Eventually, yeah.
So there's something for you to look forward to in our off season, is the dropping of that, which I'm stoked about. Because I know nothing about this. I know what race her father is. That's all I know. But yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to share here. No. So is there anything in particular you want to talk about with this?
I mean, the thing is, to Ella, that's really all of it.
Oh, okay. Because to her, it's not...
Like, the fact that she's not genetically related to her dad...
Doesn't matter.
Okay. That's not a big deal to her as a person.
I get that.
It's just really fucking weird that a stranger knew.
Yes.
So it's not like, oh no, people found out this deep, dark family secret. It's like, we don't talk about Bruno, so how the fuck did this bitch know about Bruno?
And does she have any... I don't even know if I know this. And you can tell me if I need to cut this. Did K1 find out this information from K2? Or was this from something else?
Ella does not know.
Yeah. Do I know? Should I know? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I do not believe you have that information.
All right, cool. That's good. That's good to know. I was like, God, that feels like something I should really know.
But yeah, it's not a big deal to Ella. Like, she knows. Mm-hmm. Her close family knows. Some of her parents' friends know. Like, Kate knows. It's not this huge thing.
Not to her. Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
That's not the problem. The problem is, how did it get out of this very carefully constructed Ella protection bubble that her parents have built around her for years?
Right.
They have been protecting Ella very carefully for a very long time. Like, they did not send her to the place where she would be happiest without them. Mm-hmm. They sent her where they thought this little Sybil would be safest. So how, when her parents have been so fucking careful, did this fucker know? Like, that's the freaky part.
Yeah.
To her, the fact that she wasn't born Gale Pack, it doesn't matter. She has the tattoo.
Yeah, she's marked Gale.
She's marked Gale.
Yeah.
nipped that in the bud. It doesn't fucking matter anymore. Her dad took care of it.
Yeah.
He marked her himself. Like, no, she is Gale Pack. That's it. So, like, this has all been taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm going to say something. I don't think that we should cut this. You might be like, hell no, cut this shit. But if you've read Lori's story and you see the kind of people that she has been with, it is easy to look at this and go, oh, maybe she's not fully wolf. I mean, we know that she's not because she's Sybil, so it doesn't really matter, but it's an interesting thing. It's like she could also be not hybrid. What do you call them in this?
No, they would be hybrid.
They would be hybrid. Okay.
So, no, if she is part wolf, part something else, then she would be
a hybrid.
A hybrid.
Which are considered less than in most Aetherian circles as is.
Because you're not fully one or the other.
Right.
So you're not going to be fully powered toward anything. Now, there are rarely some people who do have genetic powers that go with both of their parents. And if that happens, then they would be a chimera.
Oh.
So that's the difference. So, like, if
you had like a banshee and a fae, and their offspring had both of those powers,
and you had someone with like fae strength, fae longevity, fae healing, but the banshee's ability to predict death, then they wouldn't be a hybrid because they wouldn't be this hobbled thing that didn't quite become what they were supposed to be.
Okay.
They would be this multi-tool.
So, but that can happen. So, because Caleb, the reason that he is half of what he, like, at half of his potential as a fae, is because I thought his father was because his father was human. That's not necessarily it. It's just that he only took on the traits of one side.
What's he gonna get from a human?
No, but what I mean is, if his father had been another race, then could it still be that he had only taken on fae attributes? They had just been less than.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because he doesn't have that full fae-ness.
Right.
So he's not going to get the full genetic benefits of a fae.
But he wouldn't have necessarily had benefits of, like, if his father were a wolf. He wouldn't necessarily have received any of those.
Like, okay, maybe he's a little stronger. He's not going to shift.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to connect to a pack in the same way.
Yeah.
So he's never going to be fully wolf. He's never going to be fully fae.
Interesting.
So he's a hybrid. He's just kind of here being a little guy.
So, but if Caleb did have, like, all of the fae abilities, and let's argue that his father was a wolf and he were able to transform, then he would be chimera.
Because he'd be a link between two.
Okay.
Because he has both.
Very interesting. That's so neat. So of, like, the mythology that I studied, and by studied I mean read and devoured when I was in middle school, chimera was never something I really thought about. It's very interesting.
It's a weird thing, and I'm using it the way that it presents in my Aetherians is not necessarily the way that it's going to present in pure mythology.
Okay, that's fine. It doesn't have to be. Okay.
It's in the post. If you look at, like, the Laureldale Aetherian blog post, it's in there.
Okay.
And we haven't really met anyone who is in that vein. Like, that's not really something that we're looking at.
Yeah.
But that is how that works. So Caleb, had he been born to a fae and a wolf, or a fae and a banshee, or a fae and a witch, and he had come out powerful as both, he would have a very different place in Aetherian society than he does as half fae, half human, which is why that post exists.
So I need to go back and read this post. These posts, by the way, are up on the page-by-page Substack, so please go back, check them out. I'm probably going to do that myself. Last thing, and this is a much we have gone all the way up with the importance of the stuff I want to talk about. This is coming back off, but I think that it is still important. A brutal lightness swept through my chest, pummeling my lungs so hard my knees threatened to collapse. Getting to finally
have this release, you know, because it has just been 11, now 12 chapters of tension, especially regarding Caleb. So to finally have this release is so huge. Like, it is so nice as the reader to finally get to breathe.
She doesn't know, like, do you hate me?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Do you want me dead? Are you worried about me? Like, really, Caleb was, well, not like in a, like, really, actually, if you think about it, no, like, Caleb was the person she was closest to in Laureldale.
Yeah.
Caleb was her absolute anchor.
Yeah.
She went through a trauma and then had to specifically split herself from Caleb entirely.
Yeah.
While he was traumatized. So she has been trying to, like, fumble around with other ankles. Ankles? Anchors.
Anchor
while
and
not being able to check on the person who she's closest to in town, who could be in a horrific place because of her.
Right.
So it's that's been, like, fucking with her head.
I mean, there's always Evan.
Oh my God, Evan. Poor Evan.
I don't know, Evan. I don't know if I'd say poor Evan, but yeah, poor Evan. And kind of, I don't know, poor Haley? Not really. I guess I feel, gosh, who do I feel worse for? I'm not sure. Oh, that makes me feel weird. Yeah, I don't know who I feel worse for.
I mean, they're both just fucking dumb. That's the thing, is that, like, really, we're looking at, like, murderers, kidnappers, aitherion traffickers, people stealing teeth from living werewolves as a fucked up trophy. Like, we're talking about these really dark things.
Yes.
And then we're talking about teens fucking in a church like idiots. And her
First
getting
coitus.
And her getting knocked up because you don't pull shit like that if you're not going to be smart, because that's how that's karma bites you, man.
You know, I also, even though I'm not religious, I don't really think that fornicating in a church is a great idea.
No, you shouldn't.
Because
and that's the thing, is, like, if you're gonna do something like that, you might not get smoked by a lightning bolt, but, like, karma likes to bite people, and she bites you in the uterus, you know?
Oh my God.
I'm on a roll today.
Yeah, I mean, she does bite. Yeah, no. They're there.
Lodged those teeth.
Oh, man.
Get it?
So, thank you.
Like implanting on the uterine wall.
No, I got you.
However that works. I don't know.
Can we get away from this conversation?
Sure.
Is there anything that you want to say to everybody before we sign off? By the way, maybe we talk a little bit about that, because that's coming up in
just a few days.
3 days.
So if you are in
the West,
I don't know. If you're in the Tampa area, I don't know where it is in the state.
It's like West Central. Yeah.
I don't know. You know if you're near Tampa.
Yeah, you do.
If Tampa sounds close to you, my Hey by the Bay is going to be in Tampa Bay this weekend. 2 of the days, so it's Thursday and Friday. 2 of the days or both of the days during the day are just school kids. We're going to have, like, thousands of high schoolers coming through to do workshops with authors. R.L. Stein's going to be there doing a fireside chat. And then there's Thursday night, there are some open to the public hours where there are going to be some more panels. I think there's another talk with R.L. Stein.
Nice.
There's going to be, like, a bunch of author booths open, a giant signing.
And I will be sitting at your table for 12 hours.
Yes, you will. Big helper.
Oh, man.
But it's going to be really cool. So if you're in the area, do check that out. Other upcoming events I have after that, we are going to have Orlando Reads Books. And this also has, like, a whole, like, business author day. So whatever author level you're at, definitely check it out. And then there are professional days. We are working on Baby's First cosplay.
Yay.
You can find videos of it. I'm going to be putting them up on social media. I'm trying to do, like, a tiny beading project for the I know tiny beading project is hilarious.
And I'm like, I just did my second start to the outlining with the chalk, and I'm still not happy with it, man.
But I want to start doing, like, cosplay light, because I always have to do panels at events.
Right, so you can't.
But anyway, just find me on social media and you can see some more of that. And then after that, the next big one will be Miami Book Fair. So yeah, those are the events.
Oh my gosh, that's true. And Orlando, I mean, this isn't anywhere near as big, but
Orlando Maker Fair too is coming up,
and it
which
does
is fun.
have battle bots.
It does have battle bots.
So
if that sounds fun,
but
check
I'm
it out.
staying in the nice little local area for a while. My cats are so thrilled. Yay.
Yeah, I am too, because I loved it going to the cons that we did. Even Once Upon a Con, which was a shit show, I still had a good time at. But I'm so happy to be home for a while.
Yeah, like having 2 feet at home is great.
It really is.
Putting the suitcases away for a second was really nice.
Oh my gosh, yes it was. So
Banks loved it.
Why don't you tell people where they can find us?
So you can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You can also find me on meganorussell.com, and that's with 2 S's and 2 L's. So please do like, comment, subscribe, whatever your preferred podcast platform allows you to do. When you do those things, you help more people find the Page by Page podcast and Ella's story. And thank you for joining us this week, you guys.
Yes, thank you so much. And as always, thank you for reading.